Random things inspire me, and this time it happens to be this parachute. I love all the bright colors, which then made me think of a hot air balloon, which is even more inspiring because it goes up instead of down. And riding on a hot air balloon happens to be on my bucket list. So maybe I should just make some hot air balloon cookies. But unfortunately, I'm not that talented. So what do? I'm going to use those colors, but instead of making treats, I'm going to make some soap. Using this cupcake cookie cutter for the design, I melted the oils and got the lye water ready, added some aloe vera, wear goggles and gloves, got my fragrance oils ready, and they actually go good together. Mix the oil with the lye water. This idea is a little out of my skill range, but I'm going to try it anyway. Some soap makers can do amazing things with soap, and I don't think I'm that person. I started editing this before I even saw what it turned out, so let's see how it goes. I'm going to start by making the cupcake bottom, and I'm using a gingerbread fragrance oil. Since this is a cupcake, it's got to be kind of sweet. This brown looks kind of good. It almost looks like chocolate. And I figure the gingerbread fragrance oil will make it brown anyway, so I might as well just make it brown. Because anytime there's vanilla in the fragrance oil, it can darken the soap. So now I'm separating the rest of the soap into 4 cups. This is supposed to represent the colorful topping. I'm using 4 different colors. The first one is a lemon yellow, and this one says red, but it actually turns out to be a very bright pink. This one is a lovely blue. And this one is out of focus, but it's called Green Vibrance. I'm just kind of eyeballing how much mica powder to put in. I'm going to use the cotton candy fragrance oil, and I don't think this discolors the soap, so let's see how it works. I put this on fast speed so that I can speed this up, but I'm mixing all these cups by hand. The brown has hardened a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of texture. I want it to look like the frosting from the cupcake is dripping down the side, or at least make the bottom of the cupcake look sort of jig-jaggy, if that's a word. So now I'm layering the colors in no particular order. I tried to wipe out the cups as good as I could. This is a beautiful yellow color. I like this part the best. Probably because it looks sort of like pudding, and I like pudding. So moving on, we had to tap that down a little bit. I'm gonna add the blue, and this blue, hopefully it didn't puncture into the soap because, you know, it is still a little bit soft. If you happen to want the recipe, I mean, you don't have to make it colorful like this, but if you want to just make regular soap, I'll put the recipe in the description box below. This recipe makes the perfect amount to fill this 2-pound mold. And I made an older video about how to mix it all up. I only work with this 2-pound mold because, well, I don't need to make huge batches of soap. This pink, which is actually a red when it gels, might not even end up on the soap because I'm going to cut this with a cookie cutter, and we'll see how much I can get out of it. Let's add a little bit of sparkle, if it makes a difference. This is a glitter I got from a soap company, and it'll just wash down the drain when you use it for the first time. Then let's just add some of these things. They're going to represent cherries. They're actually made out of melt and pour, and I pushed them down a little bit because when I cut it, I want that to be a cherry on top of my cupcake. So I need to slice the soap while it's still soft so that I can cut it with a cookie cutter. These didn't turn out too bad. I'm going to do something with these sides. You'll see. I'm going to use them to make a hot air balloon soap next. Now I line up all the cupcakes and I put them back in the mold. and pour more soap on top, trying to get it down there between the cracks. Luckily, this soap is pretty liquidy. I added a little texture on top to try to cover up those embeds. I waited for about 18 hours so that I could cut them, and then you let them cure for 6 to 8 weeks before you can use them. What to do with the leftover pieces? They look like funky shoes. Well, this looks weird, but I molded them into hot air balloons, and I'm going to place them in another soap. First, I put a little green on the bottom. I made some blue and add some white because this is going to represent the sky and clouds. And in the white, I added some kaolin clay. I used brilliant blue and sky blue, and then I'm going to pour a little bit of this on the green. And then I added the embed, which I can't show here because I was moving really fast and I didn't set my camera up right, but I put the rest of the blue and white on top. Some of them kind of look like hot air balloons. I'm glad I put the little one in there because at least one of them looks like it's rising up. Some of them look like trees blowing over by a really strong wind. This looks like an unidentified flying object, and this one totally crashed and burned. It's always fun cutting it up to see what it looks like on the inside. And you know, if the soap smells really good, and they do, that's all that really matters. The rest is just for show. Anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching.